These stocks are down massively over the past year, but in the past, stocks like Meta have been on this list, so there can be some absolute incredible deals from time to time on this particular list. So let's look at the stocks who hit a 52-week low this week, and yes, guess what? There's a bunch of retail favorites on this list. So I'll tell you if I think there's a massive opportunity at these lows like Meta was, or if you should just completely run from these stocks because they're just complete and total trash and just not even worth your time. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype. Now, please keep this in mind as we go through this list. I don't care about 52-week highs or 52-week lows or anything else like that. Sure, it gives me a nice little list of stocks here to talk about, but in general, a stock can be at a 52-week low and still be significantly overvalued, meaning you need to stay far, far away from it, and vice versa. There are times when stocks hit 52-week highs and they are still actually undervalued. Again, using the Meta example, man, when Meta was at 150 and it was at its 52-week high, it was still significantly undervalued. So to me, when I'm looking at these type things, don't let the idea of it being at a 52-week low or a 52-week high hide the fact that it may or may not mean anything in regards to valuation of the stock itself. And yes, the last two stocks on the list, one of these I haven't talked about in a long time here, they're very controversial and they're going to get some of you guys riled up in the comments because I don't know. I just think what I'm going to say is going to rile up a few people, and that's okay. That's part of what these lists are for. Obviously, we can have a discussion down in the comments, not a problem. Not trying to create controversy here, but hey, that's just how it works out sometimes. So let's jump into the first stock, and that would be Fisker. Now, this stock is down 89% year to date. So just this year, we are down 89% in Fisker. And guys, I don't see any way this stock doesn't go all the way to zero. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they get a cash infusion of some sort, but it failed the first time when cars were obviously incredibly hard, obviously when they were battling Elon the first time. And right now with Tesla even struggling, man, Fisker just cannot get off the ground. They cannot get off their own way. It's a tough environment out there for car makers, period, much less a new EV. It's just kind of one of these deals that makes a lot more sense to me to start a company like Fisker or restart a company like Fisker when we are further down the line, when EVs are off and running here in the US, capital is flush, people have figured out ways to lower the cost of EVs, more importantly, lower the cost of production in EVs, more importantly. Remember, Tesla can figure out all these things ahead of time. Eventually, there'll be copycats later on as well. That to me would make me feel a lot more comfortable about investing in a Fisker like that at that stage whenever we see a lot of saturation in the market and EVs have really taken off here in the US. But until we see that point, which is not anytime soon in my estimation, stock like this is just, I don't know, it's kind of a fish out of water per se, and it's one I'm staying far, far away from. So stock number 2 is Ginkgo Bioworks, otherwise known as DNA. And I don't know, guys, it's down what, 34%? Yep, 34% year to date and 92% from its all-time highs there. Now, this was a retail favorite when all the rage was out there. I actually still see it pop up periodically in the comments here. Sometimes in my group as well, it'll pop up there. And for me, the biotech space is just a tough space to be in. It's very, very hard to value. It's very, very hard to understand who the winners in that space is going to be. I understand it is the future. There's no doubt in my mind it's the future, but picking the winners of that future is a lot harder to do. And everybody has figured that out over the past couple of years, that even when you're producing revenue, when you're producing products that are out there, there's a lot more to it than that. And trying to choose the winners is just proven to be infinitely difficult in the space. Now, biotech is way outside of my expertise there. I'll admit it up front. But when I'm looking at a stock and I'm looking specifically at a company like this, I need answers to the question of why is a high growth stock seeing revenue declining year over year? Not, stagnating, not, hey, maybe a down quarter, but why is it continually going down and down and down for a high growth stock? Again, this isn't Apple seeing their revenue decline a little bit. This is a high growth stock. So that right there is a giant red flag for me. And you have to answer that question, not with some, BS hype video that you see out there on YouTube or whatever the case is. I need to see something from management specifically, what's happening, when this is going to turn around, and if it realistically can turn around, which again comes back to understanding the space on a high level. And it's something I don't understand on a high level, so I can't speak to it. So when I don't have a high level of understanding in a space, I have no interest in the space, period, even for the winners. And obviously for a stock like this that has some issues, definitely not a stock I'm interested in either. And if you want to see the list of stocks that I'm actually looking to buy, complete with price targets, and you want to take advantage of our free coaching and take 5 courses completely for free, including the new stock course, and you want to have direct access to me anytime you want on our Q&As. You can slide into my DMs, be a part of the best 6, 7, 8-figure Discord out there, and so much more, guys. Make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you, because the sale does end soon, March Madness sale, and when it goes down, the price goes back up again. So make sure you take advantage and get your membership. So stock number 3 is Matterport. This stock is down 92% from its all-time highs. And again, it's another casualty of all the YouTube hype that was going on and, you know, late 2020, 2021, all that good stuff like that. I remember seeing it on a lot of very large channels out there were out there pitching this stock. I didn't really see the future of it then. I don't really see it now either. It has stagnating revenue. It's not declining, thankfully. It's stagnating revenue. And I actually like the product itself. I actually like what they do. And I actually think what they do in general is going to be a future thing. That is what part of the future is going to be. And there's going to be a huge TAM in the future. The unfortunate part is everybody thought this future was now, especially back in 2021. It was coming. It's right here. And unfortunately, it's a long ways off. It is not coming anytime soon. So the question becomes, can they basically piece it together and get themselves to that point whenever they get there and not be disrupted in the meantime, more importantly, by somebody else who can do it better, faster, and cheaper? Now, that doesn't mean this thing can't go on hype runs and get caught up in some sort of other, mess that it got caught up in before. Absolutely it can. But you have to understand this is basically a long game with this. And right now it is firmly a speculative play. So you have to treat it as such. And there's nothing really there that says we're going to get out of that speculative realm anytime soon. So you need to be very cautious with this stock. All right, so on to the controversial part of this list here. Make sure you guys comment down below. I'd love to hear from you in regards to that. That's what we're all about here, is actually having a discussion about whether you agree or disagree with me or whatever the case is. That's okay. If you just want to blast me, that's cool too. But just so you know, the last one is a stock that I've spoken out about before, and it was one of my most disliked videos ever in the history of the whole channel. But let's get to number 4 first, and that would be Mullen. Look, this stock, I don't know, just keeps making the list every single time. I can't tell you what to do. It's down 99.9% from its all-time highs. There's zero chance this company's going anywhere. They're just basically moving along through bankruptcy here, or to bankruptcy here, and trying to just get a paycheck for as long as they can out of the stock and out of the company itself. So this is one, guys, if Tesla's struggling right now with all the great things that Tesla can do, all the money they have and everything else, it is just going to be virtually impossible for a stock like Mullen, or excuse me, a company like Mullen, to actually be able to make any sort of a dent, move themselves forward and move that needle. So this is one I'm staying far, far away from. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to create some sort of a trade of some sort out of this, but I don't see anything here as a long-term buy and hold investor that would have me even thinking about taking it on as a speculative play, much less the other. I'm sorry, I'm not into lighting money on fire, and that to me is what you're doing when you buy this stock. And on to the most controversial stock on this list, and I'm ready for you guys. Bring it down in the comments. The last stock would be Bio-Nano-Genomics, or Bingo, as I like to say. The stock is down 99.2% from its all-time highs there. And I spoke out about it back then. It had nothing more than a PowerPoint. It had virtually no revenue coming in at all. There was absolutely nothing there as a business, but yet everybody was telling me it was the future. It was going to cure cancer and all these other horrible diseases and all this other stuff like that based on a PowerPoint, obviously. Great job there. And I got destroyed when I put out that video basically saying, this is not a good idea. I don't know. Yeah, it continued to run afterwards. If you traded it, you probably made a lot of money there. But as a long-term buy and hold investor, it was nothing but pure hype and nothing else besides that. I warned about it back then. I'm going to warn you guys about it now. This is just one of those stocks that, hey, it had its run. I understand some people still believe in it, whatever the case is. Maybe they can turn it around. I have no idea. But until I see something tangible in earnings, remember that's the key right there, is in earnings, there's absolutely nothing here for me to get excited about. So for me, I want nothing to do with this stock for now. And if you want to see the list of stocks that I'm actually looking to buy, complete with price targets, and you want to take advantage of our free coaching and take 5 courses completely for free, including the new stock course, and you want to have direct access to me anytime you want on our Q&As, you can slide into my DMs, be a part of the best 6, 7, 8-figure Discord out there, and so much more, guys. Make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you, because the sale does end soon, March Madness sale, and when it goes down, the price goes back up again. So make sure you take advantage and get your membership. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market, and click here to see my exact plan for this market. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.